Hi everyone, Lisa Haven here. Well, big tech organizations such as Google and Facebook and Twitter and multiple others, including Apple, along with the mainstream media, believe we, the American people, are stupid. And I am sick and tired of them viewing us that way. What I have to show you in today's report is bombshell. It will literally drop your jaw to the floor. But I'm going to show you 10 directives that I found on Activist Post, a news article. But these 10 directives are 10 things that the media has been pushing on the American people for quite a number of years, and they've really blown it up over the past year. Directives that are so outlandish and ludicrous that they have to think that the American people are basically very low level. Well, I'm here to tell you that I am sick and tired of your lies, mainstream media and big tech. We're not going to take it anymore. We're going to start exposing that. But before I show you those directives, I want to show you this article from BuzzFeed because this is a very important report. This is put out August 23rd, 2018. Tech companies are gathering for a secret meeting to prepare a 2018 election strategy. Representatives from up to a dozen of the United States' biggest tech companies plan to meet in San Francisco to discuss efforts to counter manipulation of their platforms. The meeting took place Friday, August 24th. Now, the reason I wanted to show you that is because over a dozen of these big tech leftist progressive organizations, by the way, gathered in secret to discuss how they're going to meddle in the United States election. That's huge because let's be honest, the mainstream media is already meddling because pretty much all of them, with exception to one, are leftist propaganda Democratic networks. There isn't a sole survivor on the Republican side. Mind you, there is no Republican Democrat. I get that. But as far as the news is concerned, there's not one even on the opposing side. Fox News is a little bit, but most of them all have the same agenda, the same directive, and the same propaganda. And here we have the same thing happening with the big tech organizations who are gathering in secret to discuss who they're going to allow on their platforms and who they're not. That is tyranny. That is not freedom. And that's a big red flag in my book. Who exactly is going to get silenced and pushed to the bottom? Is it going to be the same people who have for a while? But want to know something else? Here's the thing. They all kind of conspire and work together for an agenda. And when I told you at the beginning of this video that they think we, the American people, are lowlifes and stupid, and I'm sick and tired of them thinking us that, they really do. Because here are 10 directives that both big tech and mainstream media are likely going to push even hardcore before the midterm elections and even after, because they've been doing it for years. Check out this report on Activist Post, put out August 24th, 2018. 10 primary directives of mainstream media. As many of you know, corporate media has become a weapon of war, a weapon of propaganda. And this is exactly what they're going to continue, them as well as multiple big tech organizations. So what are these directives? Well, directive number one, and I'm going to toss them up next to me here, be afraid, not empowered. The message by the mainstream media and social giants is be afraid, be scared. Don't empower yourself and be a big political figure. Be afraid. Because if you don't do what we say, you're going to get shadow banned, delisted, removed, deplatformed, or even framed for crimes you didn't commit. If you're a high up political person and you're speaking against some of these things, if you're speaking against globalism, be afraid, not empowered. And I tell you, the people, you be empowered, not afraid. I know some of the news out there and some of the news that I share is terrifying, but that's the news. And I'm not going to shy away from news because it's scary. But at the same time, I share that news with you to empower you from the average person who isn't listening, from the average person who's brainwashed by the mainstream media. I tell you these things to inform you and empower you. What is shared on these media outlets? I always share articles and links and references, all included below. Use it as tools of empowerment. The second one here, omit and forget. They want you to forget everything they talked about the day before. Forget that. Let's move on to here. Let's just take out parts of news and give you one-sided story. And I tell you, seek out real news sources and look for references. Look to hyperlinks. Look to articles that actually have a link, because there's so many medias out there. CNN, MSNBC, ABC, and all of them have created duplicate fake news channels where they push propaganda. It's that bad. CNN media being one of those, and multiple others, where they push nothing but fake news. A lot of the times they don't even allow comments. If you're going to read news and articles, make sure the comments are allowed, and make sure they're referencing their articles. The third one here: self-destruction is cool and self-awareness is a crime. Think about this. The mainstream media always push, and even our music industry push nothing but violence. You have songs that promote children to commit suicide. It's sick and disgusting. You have songs promoting violence against people. You have songs pushing thievery and murder. All these kinds of sick songs being pushed in our rap culture, in our pop industry. And then even through when you watch videos on screen, there's so much violence being pushed. They're making videos about shooting the president and nobody does or says anything. So the ultimate agenda then for mainstream media that has to be assumed is they are making it cool to be self-destructive. And I tell you, be self-aware. Know what's going on. Teach your kids about propaganda. Teach them how the music that they're listening to promotes that self-destructive nature. That everything you see on the mainstream media is negative, promoting that self-destruct. Be aware. The fourth one here: you're a victim and the state is your savior. Probably the biggest group to fall for that one is the liberals. They're victim for everything, and big government is your daddy savior. Not really. Not once has their programs fully benefited. People on welfare are not living well. They're living paycheck to paycheck and skimming by, right? It's not a lap of luxury. They're not your savior. Never rely on anyone else to be your savior. You be that person that stands in the way, and stand with family and friends and be there for others. But I encourage you, don't rely on a group like the government to give you handouts. And that's what they want you to believe. You're a victim. You deserve a handout. You deserve this. You deserve that. And so that forms a very gimme, gimme, gimme population. And I say, don't be a gimme population. Be a giving one, because you have extra. Here's another one. Overreact. Don't overthink. Another thing that's farly in the liberals, where you see if they don't have an answer, when you give a reason for something that's happening and they don't know how to respond, they automatically call you a racist, a bigot, xenophobic. Yeah, because they have been taught to overreact rather than use their minds to think logically and say, what is the real answer to what you're saying? Let's find a real debate. Because the truth is, if they actually logically sit down and think about it, there's answers to those questions. Instead, they say, mainstream media says, overreact, let it go. And I say, don't do that. Enrage, don't engage. Kind of a same thing on that one. Enrage, don't engage. Number 7, indulge, don't conserve. And I push the opposite here. I tell you, prepare, be ready for a rainy day, because you never know what's going to happen. Those who are not prepared and crap hits the fan, you're going to be taking from others in the streets and living day by day. If you're prepared, you're ready for it, and you're not scared when it happens. Prepare before, and don't listen to the mainstream media telling you to indulge. Rather, prepare. Number 8, stroke, conflict, ridicule, peace. In other words, push protest, push rioting, get violent like Antifa, anti-fascists. They are fascists, but that's what they're doing. They're promoting and striking conflict. That's what they're teaching people to do. And I say you do the opposite. Sit down logically and talk about it. Have information and actual documentation to prove your side. Never make it a violent type situation. Here's another one. Permanent war is normal and expected. war, 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 war. Although they're supposed to be against the war, you don't hear that side anymore because there's an agenda. They're pushing war with nations that we don't deserve to go to war with, like Russia, while hiding who we really need to maybe look at some things, and that's China, because China's taking over everything here in America, pushing their communist agenda and putting people in labor camps and re-education camps, and we say nothing? Let's just go to Russia instead, right? This is an alternate agenda. And finally, panic, don't prepare. What you get from videos, movies, everything is panic, panic, panic. And they continually push the idea of prescription drugs on the population to calm down that stress level, to calm down that panic. Because first they've trained you to panic. Then they've trained you to rely on psychotropics and other things and music industry for relaxation. And mind you, people do need those things. They do need certain things, but and medical, there is that. But there's more of it than ever before because it's pushed heavily by the mainstream and by tech giants now. So much negativity. They've trained you to panic, and people are looking for ways to cope. I say look to God to cope. And if you need help, get help from a counselor or a medical professional or whoever that is, and get what you need to help. But sadly, right now, there is an abundance of that stuff in our culture because we have been taught panic. Anyhow, I'd love to get your thoughts, comments, and concerns on that. What do you think? Where are we really lying? I am tired of them thinking we are stupid people because we are anything but that. The more we stand together, the stronger we are. Anyhow, don't forget to check out my partner at Virtual Shield, hidewithlisa.com. They help me stay on air here. Without them, I wouldn't be able to do what I do. But I also back 100% what they do. And that is basically it's a VPN and it scrambles your IP address. So it looks like you're, surfing the internet from California, even though you might live in Ohio. Anyhow, thanks again for tuning in. I'm Lisa Haven, signing out.